Shell.
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Action Honda, where car ownership is made easy. Located at 4334 Kingston Road, Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Come to Action Honda. Whether bibili ka o hindi, it's always a pleasure to talk sa kababayan. Mabuhay!
Great car deals in action. Your Filipino friends ready at your service. Test drive at Action Honda today.
Stations in one great app. MCBN Media Group app is a must-have app for all global Pinoys who love music. Free to download. Pinoy Radio, today's best Filipino music, plays the latest pop music with a mix of good old throwback OPM hits. Crossway, the right hit music mix. America's Top 40 CHR Internet Radio slides back from the 90s and 2000s playlist, and today, Jeepney Pinoy Radio. Tara, sakay na! Let's rock and roll! The alternative way to listen mainstream and Pinoy indie music, OPM rock, and rap. Handpicked into one great playlist with live and acoustic versions. Plus, featured Tunog Kalye faves. MCBN Radio, 24/7 of the most listened American and British throwback hits from the 70s and 80s. With live broadcast feature and serving as the voice of the community. MCBN TV, live TV programs and mainstream blogs from great entertainment personalities and social media influencers. Download now. Magkaibang pananaw, kanya-kanyang opinyon. Tapatan. Tapatan. Hindi lahat ng panahon magkatugma. Hindi lahat ng pagkakataon naaayon. Opinyon mo, opinyon ko. Salpukan ng saloobin. Kanton Veloso. Oras na para sa Tapatan. Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Time to pump up your weekend afternoons with us. Tapatan, another PinoyRadio.com special on Saturdays.
Ayan, isang magandang umaga sa inyong lahat mga kaibigan. Kayo po ay nanonood ng Tapatan. Oras na naman para magtapatan. Good morning sa iyo, partner.
Good morning,
Katapat mo,
Vaughan.
Philip.
Good morning. And yes, sa ating mga listeners, na-miss po namin kayo for few weeks pero eto kami nagbabalik and coming live from Scarborough, Philip Veloso.
At yung pong lingkod ay broadcasting live from Brampton naman. Ayan.
There you go.
Iyan ang kagandahan ng technology natin,
Yes.
katapat na Philip. Wherever we are, we can do the live broadcast. The same with our guest today, coming from the city of Vaughan. And napakaganda na pag-uusapan natin ngayon. A couple of federal updates. Ano ba nangyayari sa gobyerno ng Canada? Ano ba yung mga plano nila? Alamin natin yan sa ating kandidato this morning. Okay? So, again, isang good morning. Napakagandang morning. Sunday morning dito sa Canada. Mula dito sa Greater Toronto area, ito po ang inyong lingkod, si Von Canton.
Napakagandang weather ngayon, kaibigan, at talaga namang kung kayo po ay nasa loob ng bahay, lumabas po at pero dalhin nyo ang inyong cellphone at kami inyong panoorin. Yun. Pwede naman yan eh. Basta gamitin lang nyo yung data kung walang internet. Ano?
Yes. Batiin ko lang ng good morning si Alegria Mahano. Ayan, nag-ahay na siya. Okay? So yung mga gustong magpag-greet na kayo, lalo na kung kayo ay may sinicelebrate sa araw na ito.
Yes,
again, welcome to Tapatan.
Happy birthday to Monette Veloso and of course to Colin Pingol. Happy birthday. Yan.
Yes.
Okay.
So, a couple of updates bago natin ipasok ng ating special guest. Alam mo ba, partner, na sa Pilipinas, pumalo na sa 100,000 ang active cases ng COVID-19. So, kinakailangan mag-ingat, doble pag-ingat kasi mahirap magkasakit, especially itong COVID na talaga namang pwede tayong mamatay.
Ang may dadagdag ko diyan kaibigan is meron kaming kamag-anak from Chaong, Quezon, and for the last 3 days mag-asawa ito gustong-gusto nilang madala sa hospital kasi nga talaga nahihirapan na because of COVID.
Yeah.
Walang hospital na tumanggap.
Nako.
Because talagang puno. Sa Lucena, sa anywhere in Quezon. Pero luckily, last night, we got a text message na finally, they're both admitted sa Quezon Hospital. Pero imagine ilang araw naghihintay sila. Nakakuha ng oxygen yung anak niya. Wala namang makuha para magkabit ng oxygen. So,
nako.
Ganong kahirap.
Mahal ang oxygen ngayon sa Pilipinas. Okay.
Pero walang makuha, na magkabit ng oxygen.
Yes. Sa ating mga kababayan sa Pilipinas, kailangan po mag-doble ingat kasi sabi ko nga mahirap magkasakit lalo na sa panahon ng COVID. Although mababa yung porsyento ng yung percentage ng mga namamatay, but still nakakatakot po 'yan. One way para matulungan natin ng gobyerno is mag-cooperate tayo kung ano yung ini-implement nila. Kasi hanggat nagtitigas-tigasan ng ulo natin, then hindi po natin matatapos to. In fact, yung fourth wave na tinatawag is underway na.
Narito na sa Toronto.
Narito na sa Toronto, the same sa Pilipinas. Meron Delta variant, meron din silang Lambda variant. Kailan po matitigil ito? So one way is we need to cooperate, we need to help the government and the authorities para mapigilan natin ito. Okay, so another thing, partner, i-congratulate natin yung ating mga atleta na nanalo at nagdala ng talagang malaking dangal, karangalan sa Pilipinas because this is first. After,
time na
I think 89 years.
We have a gold medal.
Yung mga mga atleta.
Wow.
Finally, we made gold. And then we have silver.
Dalawang silver.
Boxing, and then another bronze for boxing. So makikita nyo dito malakas ang boxing natin sa Pilipinas as a sport. So kinakailangan na suportahan din ito ng government natin. Hindi lang dahil nanalo sila, binibigyan ng mga milyon-milyon, but kailangan ipagpatuloy na yung Olympic kailangan may Olympic program na i-implement ng government.
For sure yung mga kabataan ngayon, lahat ay gusto na magkaroon ng gold medal sa kanilang leg pretty soon. So, ito yung mga motivation na hinahanap natin di ba? Realidad sa buhay. So, sabi ng mga bata siguro sa atin ngayon, pwede nga palang mangyari.
Yes.
So after 89 years, heto na, nangyari na. Kaya congratulations again and job well done all the athletes.
And they're all from Mindanao, ano? Isang karangalan yan sa Mindanao, and you should be proud of it. Hindi naman natin inaano yung mga taga Luzon or Visayas, but I think they work hard for that. And listening to their story, may inaing lang sila, kulang ang suporta ng gobyerno. So ito na po, nakita nyo na ang resulta. Talagang dinala na kayo ng gold, hindi lang bronze, hindi lang silver.
May gold na.
Yung gold. So ito'y seryosohin na natin at tulungan natin yung ating mga atleta.
Yeah, may budget naman dyan eh. For sure, may budget naman lagi sila. Kaya nga, every year, may mga funding naman naka-allocate talaga sa mga yan eh. No? Gamitin natin sa tama. Yun lang naman.
That's right. Okay. So, yan na. Yung mga late tuners natin, magandang umaga po sa inyo. Kayo po ay nanonood sa programang Tapatan dito sa Facebook Live. Napapanood din po tayo sa YouTube. Tingnan nyo lang yung link doon sa post natin. And mapapakinggan nyo rin po kami sa pinoyradio.com. Yan. Okay. So, partner, wag na natin patagalin. We have a special guest this morning. Marami tayong dapat malaman sa... nangangamoy election na sa Canada.
Election time sa Canada.
Election din sa Pilipinas. So,
sabi, matagal na yung
ng Canada bago ang Pilipinas kasi ang Pilipinas will have their election on May next year. Yeah, whereas in Canada, pwede mangyari anytime. All right? Okay. So, without further ado, partner, dali na natin at i-introduce natin ang guest natin this morning, which is walang iba, kundi ang Liberal MP ng Vaughan-Thornhill. Walang iba kundi si Gary Gladstone. All right, Gary, good morning.
Good morning, mabuhay. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, mga kaibigan.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Gladstone.
Thank you very much. So, broadcasting live from Thornhill, but I have to tell you, Von Philip, I much prefer seeing you in the studio at the Patricia Kemp Center. And boy, I mean, it's gotten nicer over the years.
You know, Gary, to be honest with you,
soon.
Gary, to be honest with you, we missed the studio already. I know it's in your writing, but because of the existing restrictions and protocols,
100%.
We have
rules,
to,
overall, everything.
we have to follow that for the betterment of our community.
There's no question. Yeah.
So first off, Gary, happy birthday! Happy 60th birthday! I know today you're not supposed to be here, but since it's your birthday, I want you to be here inside the program.
Happy
birthday.
Thank
you.
And you are celebrating your 60th. Holy moly.
Well, there you go.
It's a milestone.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, wow.
Well, you know, in the Jewish religion, I'm only halfway there because the greeting on your birthday is you should live to 120. So the way I look at it, I'm only getting started.
There you go. So 60 more years to go.
Yeah.
So you're halfway. So is that the reason why you don't drink coffee and you just drink water because you want to reach 120?
No, I just never got hooked on coffee from university days to the corporate days to the charitable days. Just never happened.
But you probably will start drinking coffee once you get elected because you got to do a lot of thinking over a cup of coffee, you know, like what are the plans here and there, you know?
Yes, so everybody has their coffee and I just drink the water. Life energizes me. Life and the people I'm connecting with and the people I'm talking with and finding out what their issues are and how we can help. Because that's what I'm all about and I've always been about.
Okay,
amazing.
There you go.
Okay, so Gary, federal election in Canada is coming up. And we don't know the date yet, but I know it's coming up. That's why you guys are getting ready. Same with other political party. Now, today, let's get to know Gary Gladstone. He is the Liberal Party nominee of Vaughan-Thornhill in Ontario. And let's talk about your deep connection with the Filipino community. Please go ahead, Gary.
Well, I'd say it started just over 20 years ago when I started to get involved in politics in Vaughan, and I had the pleasure to meet Erlinda, and then a few years later, you, Vaughan, and then the work with the Patricia Kemp Community Center and all that's going on there. The Vaughan Fiesta Extravaganza that I've been thrilled and delighted to attend many years, of course, this year and last year virtual, God willing, next year it's back to in person, and to see how the Philippine community has grown and expanded their breadth here in Thornhill and in the extended GTA is absolutely incredible. Entrepreneurs holding down multiple jobs, making sure to build for themselves and their family. the healthcare system in the GTA would freeze without the Filipino community, no question, but so much more, so much more. The entrepreneurs in your community, the community activists, every business going, and of course the food, bar none. And always been involved from the the twinning with Bagua, with the new Friendship Park that Jackie Crisanti and others are so heavily involved with. I mean, way back when I used to be on the Ontario Trillium Foundation grant review team for York Simcoe, we'd see many applications coming in, not only from the Philippine Community Association of Vaughan or from PHB or the new Markham Philippine Community. We knew as part of Trillium that if we funded these community groups, there'd never be any issues because they would do phenomenal work and benefit the entire community. And we were never let down. So it was always a pleasure to assist with the funding there. Recently, I guess about 2 years ago, the Filipino Center of Toronto, I had the honor and pleasure to write a grant for Marianne San Juan and Ephraim Davila that got them $100,000 for the Enabling Accessibility Fund. And yes, sir, Linda, I'm always there to help you with yours. You don't have to worry, and have in the past, and some good stuff will come always.
That's good. That's
Very
good to
good.
know. You mentioned about FCT, the Filipino Center Toronto. Philip is part of that.
Yes,
Ah.
and actually, I have an event right away, right today at 12 o'clock, right after our show, because there's going to be an opening of our pre-dental clinic to anybody. So we will be there to open up that pre-dental clinic.
Fantastic.
And yes, I remember you and Ed helping us getting those grant about 3 years ago.
Yep.
And again, yes, it's been work in progress still for our development of the renovation of the center because of that project. So thank you so much for that.
No, it's a pleasure. It's what I do. But I have to tell you that what the Filipino community does so well is everything is not just for you. Everything is for the community at large and making sure. And
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that everybody knows that there's another vaccination clinic this afternoon down at Little Manila at the Friendship Parkette at Bathurst and Wilson.
Yeah.
So whoever hasn't had their chance to get their first or second shots, please head down there. I think they're open from noon till 6, but it's vitally important. And Vaughan, to your earlier point about the public health guidelines and COVID, it's been proven time and time again that vaccine is the best way to protect yourself and protect the community. So I don't want to sound too preachy, but if anyone doesn't have their shots yet, please head on down.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Okay. So, Gary, let's talk about a couple of federal updates. I know soon you'll be in the government. Let's
God
talk
willing.
about the government pandemic plan. Let's talk about jobs, the economic recovery, and other support that the current Liberal government is planning to do. Please go ahead.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. So the bottom line, just before I came on the show, the Prime Minister was visiting with the Governor General, obviously, to issue the writ for the election. I'm not sure if you've had something come across the newswire. I anticipate the election date September 20th, but I'm not sure if that's actual voting day.
September 20th. Okay.
Yeah, but the election has gone underway, and the big theme of the election is to continue to protect Canadians and investing in Canada and Canadians. So I have to tell you, when the pandemic hit, of course, nobody knew COVID, nobody knew coronavirus, and all of a sudden, my God, things were hit. Fortunately, we had the Liberal government in place who ensured that people didn't have to make the hard decision between food on the table or paying rent. The COVID benefits came out pretty quickly. The CERB, the employment wage subsidy, the child benefit that wasn't increased, and so many others, the rental benefit, both for businesses and individuals, later benefits for students, to make sure that really nobody was left behind, to make sure that people could still maintain contact with their employers. So when things would turn around, they would already have the connection there and they wouldn't have to start finding new jobs. Support and protect Canadians and the economy, vitally important. And so many of the IMF, the World Bank, etc., were commenting loudly and strongly that Canada really went the right way by investing a lot and early. And then, of course, to get the vaccines in, Prime Minister had guaranteed by the end of September we'd have enough doses for everybody who wanted. 2 months early, it came in. The biotech industry is now, we're in the process of rebuilding. An agreement was just signed with Moderna. They're going to be opening up a plant in Canada. It's actually their first foreign plant, and they chose Canada, which is wonderful. And in order for an extra 40 million doses, if we need for next year and the year after, depending on the booster shots, etc. So really important to make sure that nobody was left behind during particularly the initial stages of the pandemic, when people weren't really sure what was happening and what was going on, to make sure that people were advised, were informed. Public health guidelines, absolute. And one of the best parts of the pandemic was it showed Canada for how great Canadians are, with the federal and provincial governments across the country, but particularly here in Ontario, working so closely with the municipal governments hand in hand to make sure that the individuals, the people living here, were well taken care of.
Amazing. Okay, Philip, do you have any question for Gary?
No, just to follow up to that, I believe Canada, because of the liberal in power, Canada is one of the country that the vaccination is really right up there, right? Like almost all the citizens that need to be vaccinated are been vaccinated, and Canada is one of the country that accomplished on that right away, right? Is that right, Mr. Gladstone?
Yeah, well, we're doing great. We're certainly at the top, but we're not finished yet by any stretch.
Yeah.
We've got over 80% of the population have had their first vaccine. Well over 70% have had both of the vaccines. The numbers are continuing to rise, but I gotta stress, and you guys know it best, everybody's got to get their shots, because we've got the Delta variant coming, and the best defense against it is inoculation. No question. And I've seen this firsthand with the work that I do with RENA, helping those with developmental disabilities, and the work I do with Kenora Chiefs Advisory, the 9 First Nations communities up in Kenora. Vaccination is what it's all about and where the cures start. So please, everybody, again, I'll just preach to the converted, because I know that your community is way up there, and the sacrifices that your community members have had to make during COVID, particularly at the beginning, where there wasn't enough PPE to go around, the vaccines were just coming out. My commendations to you. Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, we have to listen to the birthday boy. Everybody should get
That's
their
my birthday
shot.
wish. Everybody should get vaccinated.
No, I mean,
Gary, go ahead, Philip.
no, what I'm saying is it's been proven by science and all these doctors behind it that vaccination really, really works. So please go out there and get vaccinated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Gary, the 4th wave is underway, and this scares everyone, especially the class. School is coming back, is going back, and after the long weekend in September 6th, I guess. Did this worry you at all, the 4th wave?
Well, 100%. So first, let me assure everybody that all the campaigning that I will do, the Liberal Party will do, will be safe, will be according to all public health guidelines, both federal, provincial, and municipal, not an issue. And that Elections Canada, since the pandemic began, has been working on ways to make sure that should there be an election, it would be safe. So that's first and foremost, everybody should know. Safe campaigning, absolutely. In terms of school starting and an issue, for sure. And that's why the Prime Minister and the Liberal government made sure that there are significant funds flowing down. Even though education is provincial, the cost would overwhelm all the provincial treasuries. So the feds have given the money down to the provinces to implement Safe Air. And I was just reading in the paper this morning that HEPA filters will be in the classrooms that haven't had a chance to update. And again, that's through federal funds with the provincial implementation. And again, vaccines are the best way to go. And hopefully more and more and more people will be getting vaccinated. I know that there's a very, very high percentage of teachers, and hopefully it continues to grow.
Now, additional question, Gary, do you have any update with travel restrictions, especially foreign travelers or American travelers coming into Canada?
Yeah, well, the borders are now open for Americans coming in as long as they've been double vaccinated. We announced, I guess, last week that anyone traveling by air, interprovincial, rail, and bus, etc., will need to be double vaccinated, and will need to show the federal public service will be mandated to vaccinate, and more and more are. So in terms of foreign travel, again, vaccination is key. Absolute.
All right. Philip, any question on your end?
Well, I'm going back to the campaign trail, Mr. Gladstone. What are the things that you are planning to do now? That are you still doing door knocking? Is this mostly virtual meetings? So, what are the things in place in order to reach out to your constituents?
Thanks. Well, you name it, and we're doing it, and we're doing it safe, according, and I'll just reiterate 1,000 times the public health guidelines. So yes, we're still knocking on doors. Even though I'm outside, I'm still fully masked, as are members of my team. Will ring the doorbell, stand back 6 feet, talk to people through the doors, and if they're masked and want to talk or what's comfortable for them, not a problem. We're making phone calls. I'm having virtual meetings, outdoor meetings, very few people inside the office. And again, meeting with the constituents at their convenience, however, wherever, as long as it's safe and as long as public health guidelines are being looked after, and getting a tremendous, tremendous response at the doors. People realizing that the Honorable Peter Kent isn't running again. Very pleased with the work, as am I, the work that he's done over the years. But I think it's time for the community to once again have a strong voice in government. And with my constituents' help, and from what I'm hearing at the doors, God willing, I'll be that person.
Okay, great. Now I want to talk about locally. I want to talk about Vaughan and Thornhill riding. Your riding. What are your plans for the seniors? I mean, you're in the federal level, but of course, we want to know what's the program for the seniors, the most vulnerable, and as well as childcare. What's your update on this?
All right, so first let me just clarify, not only does Thornhill contain Vaughan, it's also got some of Markham from Yonge Street over to Bayview. So we've got Vaughan going over to the 400, and on the east side over to Bayview north of Steeles. So in terms of seniors, the vulnerable, well, that's my bailiwick and that's my wheelhouse, as you well know. And I intend to continue what the government and I have been working on, which is making sure that no one's left behind. I got a phone call this morning from my parents that the old age security increase for COVID for seniors over age 75 got deposited into their bank account this morning, $500 each, and to cover some of the expenses over COVID, particularly for the over 75, and announcements next year of an extra 10%. My next door neighbor, an incredible person, Minister Deb Schultz, who I know you know very well as Minister of Seniors, has done phenomenal work to ensure that seniors have been as safe as they could during COVID, bringing down federal guidelines as appropriate to work with the provinces, and of course hit really hard at the beginning of COVID, but now many changes are coming and moving forward. We can point to the New Horizons for Seniors program that has funded thousands and thousands of organizations to run programs and outreach for the seniors. Of course, healthcare is provincial, but very big need for seniors to have overall through the federal government what can happen, and we're working hard to make sure that seniors can have a long life. The living age in Canada has been growing considerably over the last number of years. In terms of vulnerable communities, well, let's just talk what I've been able to do with RENA, helping those with developmental disabilities. When the National Housing Strategy came out close to 4 years ago, it was because of my work and that of others that we got those with developmental disabilities into the National Housing Strategy as a targeted vulnerable community, and that allowed RENA, and again with my considerable involvement, to build the Lou Fruitman RENA Residence, which just opened up on Clark Avenue, home to 136 individuals requiring support, with tremendous support from Canada Mortgage and Housing from the federal government, as well as the provincial government. So I'll thank both Premier Ford and Prime Minister Trudeau and all for their incredible work to go in there. And people just started moving in there last week. And I got to tell you, that's got to be my happiest moment. There's no question. Making sure that people will have a full life in front of them, making sure once again that nobody gets left behind. In terms of childcare, thank God. The National Child Care Program is unbelievable. I mean, my kids are older now, 22 and 26, but I remember 1 or 2 days ago, the high cost of childcare, and my wife wasn't able to be in the workforce as much as we would have liked and she would have liked. But, thank God everything worked out well. But now coming out with a $10 a day daycare across the country, I think we're now up to 7 provinces that have signed on, which is magnificent. Many Conservatives as well. And now we're just waiting for Premier Ford in Ontario to sign on. Hopefully that comes sooner than later. But this is why I'm running, to make sure that no one is left behind, that these incredible programs can continue, will be implemented. National Pharmacare around the corner, increased immigration programs coming as well. And with your help, we got to make sure that we're going to build stronger. We got to think bigger, work smarter, and push harder. And that's what we're going to do.
This is what I like about our government. Even if you are coming from different political parties, both ends are working together for a common goal. Politics is there, but after election, everybody should work. You agree with that, Mr. Gladstone?
Well, that's how things work best, and I certainly hope to see it continue. But we need the leadership of Prime Minister Trudeau and the Liberal Party at the helm, and I hope people will be supporting me at the ballot box in order to make sure that Thornhill's voice is well represented in government.
Prior to this election, I know you're running for in your riding, and I've seen your profile. You did a lot of extra jobs outside of this political arena. My question is, why do you need to run? Like, you're running good in
Join
your business.
join
Your
politics.
business
Yeah.
is doing good. Like you said, you're just 60, halfway of the Jewish goal. I mean, do you
Now the
really need
pressure's on.
politics just to continue with all the your plans and support for the community?
Well, you're not the only one who's asked me that, including my wife, who, why am I giving up the good jobs to go down to Ottawa, etc. And the answer is because there's a lot of work that needs to be done to ensure that no one's left behind and that Thornhill is able to thrive and do the best that they possibly, that all constituents in Thornhill and across Ontario and Canada do the best. Charities and nonprofits do incredible work, and Canada is what we are today because of the incredible work. They need stronger voices in Ottawa all the time. It would be my pleasure to be one of those voices. A couple of years ago, I was having a conversation with former Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Paul Martin. And the conversation was centered around that very thought of, what do you think, Paul? I didn't call him Paul. What do you think? What do you think, Mr. Martin? Do you think that I'll be able to do more as I'm doing now? I mean, thank God in the last decade, I've raised over $27 million for incredible charities and nonprofits, the majority of that in Southern York region. Will I be able to do more that way or sitting in the house? And he said, Gary, if you have a desire to sit, you will be able to do much more. You'll be able to help more people. You have the right thoughts. You've been involved with so many varied organizations across the whole gamut of society. We need your voice in the House, and you'll be able to impact major change. Is life going to change overnight? Absolutely not. But speaking with others, various committees, raising the issues that need to be raised for all communities, that's what I'll be there for, and that's what I'll help. So, for instance, when you say, what can a parliamentarian do? Well, because of my friends, Filipino Heritage Month started in 2018 from Prime Minister Trudeau and other members of caucus. The quincentennial commemoration of the Philippines, first of all, congratulations, is officially recognized by the Government of Canada. And it's that type of thing to make sure that recognition is given where needed with appropriate funds to back it up. And then we talk about immigration. It's vital, and it's what has driven the country, and the changes still need to be done, and they are. I mean, in the last budget, as I'm sure you in the community are aware, we're delivering a modern immigration processing platform. It's badly in need of an upgrade. It's happening. Racialized newcomer women are being prioritized. The temporary foreign worker program, again, which your community knows very well, now has accelerated pathways to permanent residence, which I think is crucial for the betterment of all. Express entry is being streamlined, and family reunification is crucial.
Yes,
Sounds
well said.
great. And
Well
we
said,
want to
well
thank
said.
the government of Canada for that, for recognizing the contribution of the Filipino Canadian community. Philip?
Well, I mean, this is a question that maybe you cannot give it an answer, but I will ask it anyway. This back again to the actual day of the election. Are we gonna be going to the poll, or is it will be a mail-in ballot? Will be planned. What is the Election Canada? What are you hearing from Election Canada about how they will do this election? How will they approach this election day?
Safe, and they've been planning since March of 2020, and they had a dry run with the by-elections last October, of course, in York Center, where with the Filipino community support, Yara Sachs is the new MP and doing an incredible job. So there will be mail-in ballots. There will be you can vote in the Elections Canada offices once they're set up, and they never take too long to set up. There'll be advanced polling days, and there'll be the actual voting days. And as I said, I haven't been checking my emails as I've been online with you, but I'm sure it's been announced, and I think September 20th, but not 100% sure. But everybody will have the opportunity, and Elections Canada is an incredible nonpartisan organization. They run magnificently well. So I'll guarantee that everybody will be able to vote safely, and I encourage everybody to vote.
Your votes count for sure. Everybody out there.
There's no question. Every vote is crucial. I can think of contests that have been won, by under 10, 20 votes. So never underestimate the power of putting the X where you want it to go. And in this case, hopefully I get your support.
The power of one. Yes.
I think Gary, you are ready for Vaughan-Thornhill this time.
There's no question, and I think the community is ready for me too, so it works out well.
Yes, before we let you go, Gary, I know it's your birthday. I want you to celebrate your birthday. Last question. Do you believe or do you agree with the vaccine passport?
Well, I think we're certainly heading towards that way, and I feel much safer with it. I encourage,
but I think the province is not liking the idea.
Well, let's see as things develop. I know that Quebec has chosen the vaccine passport. For travel, it's now being required, the federal public service. This is evolving certainly day by day by day. And the vaccine passport is something that we need to study a little bit more, but certainly I'm in favor of it. We need to make sure that those for medical reasons that can't get vaccinated are not left behind. But otherwise, science has proven in no uncertain terms that vaccination is the way to go, and I will just encourage once again.
Agreed. Well said,
Amazing.
Mr. Gladstone.
Okay. So, what's your plan on your birthday?
Well,
that's the last question.
And in about an hour, family, friends, and campaigners are coming to my house. I've got an ice cream truck lined up.
What's the address? I got to be there.
Yeah, I'll tell you offline. How's that? And you're more than welcome to come. And then canvassing and speaking with members of the community, because that's what it's all about. Getting out and engaging with the incredible people, my neighbors, my friends. I mean, I've lived in Thornhill for 25 years. I've raised my family here. I've acted in the community, as you've mentioned, on more than one occasion. And really, I want to go to Ottawa to represent our incredible community. So I need to know what's on everybody's minds, because Thornhill needs a strong voice in Ottawa, in government. And I'm certainly hoping that you'll be sending me there.
Well,
there you go.
There you
okay,
go. Well,
so that's the Liberal candidate for Thornhill, Gary Gladstone. Thank you very much for this opportunity to have you this morning. At least the people now, especially the Filipino community, knows your plan, specifically in your writing. Now I'll give you the opportunity to invite them and, to vote for you. Please go ahead.
Maramang Salamat po. It's been a great pleasure to spend time once again, Philip and Vaughan, with you on your show. It's absolutely gorgeous day out. Everybody get out and enjoy COVID safe. However, if you have some time and you want to help, I'd love it. Visit my website, www.votegary.ca. If you have some time to volunteer, come with me and knock on doors, make some phone calls, put up signs, votegary.ca, and your assistance would be greatly appreciated, because again, we've got to make sure that Thornhill has a strong voice in government in Ottawa with your help.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Your
Thank
next
you
member
very
of the
much.
parliament, yeah.
So now we will let you go, because I know there's an ice cream truck waiting for you outside of your house with the kids.
You got it.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
I believe you're doing your door-to-door campaign as well. All right.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, and I look forward to speaking with you and your viewers at every opportunity. All the best.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right. All right. Thank you, Gary, and have a blessed Sunday morning.
Thank you to you.
There you go.
Okay, so Paring Philip. All right, there you go. That's our guest this morning.
Very informative.
Gary Gladstone, the official Liberal nominee of Vaughan-Thornhill. So I think ready na si Paring Gary, Tumakbo siya last time. Pero kasi si Peter Kent was incumbent.
Mm-hmm.
And matagal na hinawakan ni Peter Kent ang Vaughan-Thornhill. So conservative yan. And Gary is a liberal. Now si Peter Kent, para lang sa kaalaman ng ating viewers, Paring Philip, ay nag-retire na po. Nag-retire na siya, and
hindi na siya tatakbo ngayon.
Term, whenever magkaroon ng election, so meron na silang bagong kandidato. And for now, yung ating guest, si Gary Gladstone, napakinggan nyo naman, na talagang marami na rin naman na itulong, especially sa charity. Sinagot niya rin yung tanong, bakit kailangan pang tumakbo kung nakakatulong ka naman. I think that's a common question.
No, kilala natin siya sa community personally, at anytime mong tawagan siya, kailanganin mo siya, whether it's a business term or as a community leader, nandun siya. So, but again, the decision is yours. Kayo po, napakahalaga ng boto natin. So, September 20, I believe I agree with that date. I think that's...
Meron ka na bang confirmation sa yung mga sa yung mga contacts dyan sa Scarborough? September 20?
Mostly September 20 ang lumalabas sa kanilang mga So, it will be I think it's confirmed now.
Okay.
The Governor General announced that. So,
pero hindi pa ina-announce eh. Kailangan talaga ma-confirm muna para we can make Official
siguro
announcement.
ganito na lang siguro, save the date, September 20.
Save the date, September 20. All right? So, yan po,
Alright.
if you want to give an opportunity for Gary, vote for Gary and Vaughan-Thornhill. I think he will be a good representative. Yung mga Filipino-Canadian natin dyan. By the way, sa kaalaman din ng ating mga viewers at listeners, meron po tayong taunang Vaughan Fiesta Extravaganza kung saan ginaganap dyan po mismo sa Thornhill.
Yes.
So riding niya po 'yan. And alam ko naman na makakatulong siya malaki sa atin. And yung incumbent naman ngayon, si Peter Kent, ay matagal na rin tayong tinutulungan.
At
So
saka
ang
niya,
gusto ko rito, partner sa Canada, regardless of the party, kung saan ka kasali,
walang kulay.
hindi ka personalin.
Walang
Talagang
kulay-kulay
after
dito.
election, it's over.
Yeah.
Igilid nyo na yung mga political colors nyo. Tulungan
Walang
na natin.
kulay. Yung napakaganda rito, walang kulay, walang basta natapos ang election, let's work together for one goal. Yun lang ang maganda dito. So
Yes. And ang siguro, ang napansin ko lang is, yun na nga, dahil paiba-iba yung mga umuupo. Nakita natin yan sa iba-ibang riding. Okay? Yung mga kababayan natin sa Pilipinas na hindi alam yung riding, distrito po yan. Ang ibig sabihin yung mga distrito. Kahit iba-iba yung mga leader galing sa iba-ibang partido, wala nang personalan after election. Kung hindi ka bumoto, tutulungan ka pa rin. Meron ka pa rin ayuda. Meron ka pa rin tulong sa gobyerno.
walang
Uniform.
kulay.
May child care benefit. Kung senior ka, may support na para sa'yo. Uniform yan across the board. And wala na yung personalan. Dahil hindi ka nagboto sa akin, hindi kita tutulungan o last ka. Hindi po ganyan. Hindi po ganyan sa Canada. Kaya ilan po ang nagugustuhan namin dito dahil yung election is matapat, malinis. In a day, upon closing ng election, butuhan, bilangan agad. Alam mo na ang leader.
Alam mo na.
Alam mo na sino nanalo.
Isa pang gusto ko rito, you can say freely kung ano talaga yung nasa sa loob mo against one of the politician. Hindi sila magtatanim ng sama ng loob sa iyo. You are not doing well, wala kang ginagawang maganda dyan, anong problema, di ba? Pwede mo sabihin yun sa kanila right in person na talagang mano a mano.
Galit ka.
Na hindi sila magtatanim sa iyo ng galit na, I'm sorry, we will, make sure na ayusin natin ito, ganun-ganon. Ay sa atin,
Tsaka dito, partner, ang mga kandidato, sanay ng door-to-door, talagang mano-mano, nagnanak, nagpapakilala sa mga walang bodyguard.
No, actually, si Mr. Singh, right? NDP leader. Right? Meron dito, during provincial election, pinagnanak sa akin door. So when I open him, it's him. Nakachinelas. Solo. Sabi niya sa akin, I go, hi, how are you? Oh, it seems that you know me. Of course, di ba? Pero ibig ko lang sabihin, solo siya, pero leader siya ng isang malaking party dito. Doon sa ating mga listeners na hindi alam. Solo siya, nagnanak na knocking door, nakachinelas lang.
Nangangampanya.
ng
Namimigay
diba?
ng mga flyer nila.
Nakakagulat din pag minsan makita mo itong mga leaders na ito. Pero anyway, ito po ang kagandahan ng politics sa Canada. And ang isa pang napakaganda, gusto ko rito. Imagine, 1 month lang ang campaign period. That's it.
know.
Election na agad. Ay sa atin, 3 taon na. Wala pa kandidato.
Ngayon election, nangangampanya na Di ba?
Wala pa kandidato, nangangampanya na. Sino bang kinakampanya ng mga ito? Wala pa namang official candidate.
Pero kasi sa Pilipinas, alam mo partner, sa Pilipinas, uso yung lamangan. Magpasikat ka na ngayon, magpakilala ka na ngayon para maalala ka ng tao.
Tapos
yan
personal.
Ang sa atin, kaya nagiging sobrang gastos ng eleksyon.
At saka personal, hindi yung political, talagang personal. Pangit ka, mas pangit ka. Di ba? Alak ng tinapang maganda. Di ba?
Tsaka uusisain, bubuksan yung mga nakalipas na. Yung
kahit nung bagong anak ka pa.
Hindi maganda yung ganyan. Ang sinasabi ko lagi, stick to the issue. Ano ba ang pinag-uusapan? Ano ang problema? Doon tayo magdebate. Huwag mong isali yung mga nakaraan. Huwag mong isali yung mga masasama. Kasi ang tao po may karapatang magbago. Parehas
Yeah.
din yung mga napreso, yung mga nakakulong. Kaya yan nakulong dahil, reformation. O ngayon, nagbago na, kumandidato, kailangan pa bang balikan yung nakaraan pinagbayaran na. Di
Ang
ba?
ating harapin natin, ano ba yung issue ngayon? Ano ba yung makakatulong sa nakararami para umunlad ang bayan? Hindi yung personal na alitan ninyo, dadaan ninyo sa political ano.
Hindi
Yun lang
maganda
ang
yon.
hindi
Kasi
maganda.
reflection yan na ganti-gantihan, panapanahon lang yan. 'Di ba? Nauso sa atin yan sa Pilipinas yung weather lang, 'di ba? Kumbaga, alam mo,
Nakakatawa
sana
Comedy
magbago na tayo.
Parang nagiging comedy.
Hindi nga comedy partner circus na ang nangyayari Circus. Hindi ako magsasalita saka natin pag-usapan ng Pilipinas pagkainitan na ng eleksyon. Pero marami tayong guest na ipapasok sa ating programa para pag-usapan kung ano yung mga dapat at ano yung mga mali and ano pa yung pwede nating maitulong magawa sa Pilipinas. Kasi ang Pilipinas has so much potential. Ika nga, sinasabi nila.
Sobra.
Pero dahil ang korupsyon mataas pa rin, hindi mahinto-hinto.
Hindi masagpo. Tapos ang political, yun nga, yung political ground, yan talagang dapat mabago. Doon mag-start ang pagbabago yung politika, yung paano maiayos mo yung mga parti-partido na yan. Sobrang dami. Tapos yun nga, personal ang labanan. Hindi talagang kung ano yung talagang issue na dapat sa bayan.
Yeah. Common na sa atin yan, pag eleksyon, siraan mo para masira sa tao. O, 'di ba? Nauso pa yung troll army, 'di ba? Alam mo, ang mga aso, pakainin mo, bigyan mo ng buto, ang loyalty niyan sa iyo.
Of
So
course.
ganun din naman yung troll army Kung sino ang nagpopondo diyan, sino nagpapakain diyan, yung mga aso susunod yan. Subukan yung tanggalin
yung budget nila.
Sigurado babaliktad yan at sigurado may mag-i-squill diyan. Sa politics, walang kaibigan at wala rin loyalty. Tandaan po natin yan. Okay? So marami nang nakaraan at maraming nakaraan ng kwento or nangyari tungkol dyan. Magkasama ngayon, magkaaway noon. Di ba?
Yes.
The common denominator is politics. Kung saan ang winnability, doon sila lilipat kasi andun ang grasya. So sana politics, po ma-improve natin yan.
Yeah.
Ano po? Okay.
Yes.
So, katapat na Philip, maraming salamat at magpapaalam na naman tayo and we're gonna see them next week. Exciting ang ating guest magiging next week. Abangan nyo na lang po sa ipopost namin sa ating Facebook page but for sure kakukunan nyo ng opportunity ng hanap buhay.
At saka sigurado po maraming tatawag kay kapartner na mga kandidato para makausap natin dito. Live on air.
So, marami na talaga. Marami nang nagpapa-schedule ng interview. At
kilalanin natin sila. Siguro mag-araw-araw na siya tayo.
Nilalagay lang muna natin pero hindi pa naka-schedule kasi nga summer ngayon sa Canada, maraming kaganapan and mahirap mag-commit. But of course, we are ready to respond to that.
We will give them the chance to talk to the people, especially sa Filipino community, kahit this oras ng gabi. Yes. Alam ko marami yan pero we will see. Yan. At alam ko naman kaya mo i-schedule yan. Okay. So again, maraming salamat po and pasensya po at kami medyo nawala sa air for a few weeks dahil talagang again, summertime.
Yung schedule.
COVID time, tapos alam mo niya, marami ring medyo binigyan din namin ng pansin ni partner ang ating mga family. So, we're here. We're back.
So, parang ano lang yan bakasyon din kami.
Yeah, nagbakasyon din naman kami.
Ayaw lang namin sabihin bakasyon, pero bakasyon din kami.
Yes,
okay.
Nag-birthday nga yung anak ko. So, happy birthday, Michelle. And,
happy birthday, Michelle.
At nakuha niya yung kanyang pinaka-mimithing trabaho sa MLSE. So,
wow. The best. Ayos. And Raptors, I think ang Raptors natin ay may magandang patutunguhan this season.
May kinabukasan. Yes.
May kinabukasan. Okay, ito po ang inyong lingkod, si Vaughan Canton for another edition of Tapatan and we're gonna see you back next week.
Philip Veloso po. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about. How it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.